SoundCloud.com/chaotic flame, YouTube.com/add nothing left to do but win. It's Chaotic Flame, and we are here with the Isaac Bunton interview. For those who don't know, your boy, you got me a little nervous. I'm gonna bring him right up. This is how we gonna do. We're gonna bring up Isaac right now. Isaac Bunton is in the building. How you doing, brother?
Yo, thank you for having me. Salute to everybody listening. Yeah, man, what's going on with you?
All is well. Let's get straight to it. Earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to stack up enough coin and build my credit to the right level to go and holler at my guy. And for the non-believers out there, I guess I'll share the screen immediately. This is a picture of me and Isaac Bunton at the Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey. I look very happy.
I think the photo speaks for itself.
Yes, the photo does speak for itself. But for those who don't know, what I want to do is give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, what you do, and where you do it. The world is yours, brother.
Appreciate you. So my name is Isaac Bunton. For those of you watching, I have been a car sales professional for 17 years. That 17 years was all spent and continues to be spent at Douglas Motors in Summit, New Jersey. I do new cars, I do pre-owned cars, I do good credit, I do bad credit. So it does not matter if you are in need of a vehicle or if you need advice on what to do, how to do it, how to go about trying to get a car and not be overpaying or paying too long or whatever. I'm the person to talk to. I can help you, and I don't use that word loosely, help. And that's what it usually comes down to is taking care of people and making sure that they get something that works for them, the car and the monthly payment and or the price overall, because it might not be a monthly payment, it might just be you writing a check for it or dropping a bag off for it. So that's what I do, and the reason why I do it is to make sure that people get right. Everybody needs a car, but a lot of people are hesitant. So you come see me, I get it done the right way, put smiles on faces. Because let's be honest, buying a car should be a happy experience. A lot of times it's not. So I take it upon myself to try to do so for everybody that I come across. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and if I could to piggyback off what you said, what's so special about this interview is that I knew that when I got my money right, when I got my credit right, I knew exactly who to see. So once again, this is an experience that I had, and let me give you guys a better visual of the beautiful 2024 Volkswagen TAOS I was able to walk away with after, like I said, building my credit to a certain level and saving up enough money. I was able to confidently go to Isaac Bunton. And when I went to the reason why I went to Isaac is, for one, we grew up in the same neighborhood. We went to the same school. He's always been a genuine person, but This was something that I didn't have a lot of knowledge on, and I didn't really know what to do. I don't have all the answers here. I haven't done all the research needed, but I knew that I would be in good hands if I went to Isaac. The sentiment he just echoed was that he has worked in this industry for 17 years. So I want to ask you, how did you get started 17 years ago? Like, how did you get started
Mhm.
in this?
Well, it's not a complicated story, but it definitely wasn't what I had in mind when I started off. I was working. I think I was working at Radio Shack, and it was kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of getting by. It was good, but it was just kind of a blah situation, right? Um, and when I left there, and I left Radio Shack, and I needed to do something that was going to be more, I guess, career oriented rather than just a job. Um, and I had a knack for sales. So I actually went on, I want to say it was monster.com, filled out a resume, sent it out to a whole bunch of people. And, Douglas VW invited me down to, I guess, to kind of compete for one of four jobs at the dealership. And when I got there were about 30 people in the room.
Wow.
And out of the 30, they paired us down to eight, uh, four at the Infinity dealership and four at the VW dealership. And I just, in the beginning, it was just kind of a stepping stone. I wasn't expecting to stay there as long as I have. Um, but the obviously the earning potential was much greater there than what it was at Radio Shack. I mean, from day one, I was making double what I was making there, so that immediately made it a little bit easier for me to kind of hang out a little bit and see where it went, where it took me. But after about 2 years, is when I started to kind of see myself doing it long term.
Yeah.
Um, my obviously my experience grew, my understanding of the business continues to grow, but most of it was right there in the beginning, like um, just kind of understanding like you can climb the ladder. That's one way to go, or you can build a book of business through repeat customers and what have you. But you have to do it a certain way. So, but to stick to the question, it was, I just kind of put myself out there. Like I said, I built a resume. They called. I came up. I beat out a bunch of other, not beat out everybody, but I beat out most of the other guys in the room, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and if I could, so there's a room of 30 people. They get it down
Mhm.
to 8. So you
Right.
obviously have to know what skills are required to do this. So for anyone out there looking to, potentially be a car salesman, what key attributes or key skills do you feel are necessary to be successful in this field?
Man, that's a great question, and I'm going to tell you, when I started off and they pared us down from 30 to 8, I didn't have any of the skills other than the fact that when I spoke to people, I smiled all the time. It was, I would say, your ability to be outgoing, um, and to not shy away from people would be the greatest skill you could take into automotive sales. I think in any sales atmosphere, um, presenting yourself is the biggest thing that you can do, because someone walks into a dealership, they're there to buy a car. They're not there to hang out. They're not there to visit you. It's you know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming to get a car. So the way that you get them to buy it from you is to sell them you. And a lot of people, a lot of salespeople, a lot of dealerships and stuff like that, they don't understand that concept. There's too much focus on the money part, but
Yeah.
it's the salesperson selling his or herself. I think that's the key.
Okay, understood. And all right, for anyone out there who was looking to, are there any misconceptions that you usually come across for people that may be first time vehicle purchasers or anyone looking to purchase a new vehicle? Like, are there any misconceptions that you see frequently out there that people may have?
I think one of the biggest things that people think about car salespeople is that we take advantage of people. Um,
Mm.
I would say that that's not as true as I don't think it's true at all. In an age of information, I'm not sure how I want to say this because this is going to come off sounding like I'm defending people, but I think I
Uh-oh.
am because in our because in my industry, nobody forces you to walk into a dealership. So the idea that you're taking advantage of, I didn't make you come there, right? And some of these scenarios where we're taking advantage of people have terms and conditions explained to them thoroughly. People have been warned ahead of time. Hey, listen, you can do it this way, but this might not be the best long-term solution for you. And then they have a choice whether or not to do it. And I've done that with people. There are people who I've sold cars to, and I said to them, this isn't a good deal for you. You shouldn't do this. You should wait. You should fix your credit more. You should have a more of a down payment. Um, you should wait until your other car is paid off. But I think the thing that it comes back to is that person can walk out of my dealership and go down the street to the next dealership, which is 5 minutes away,
Yeah,
and buy
yeah.
the car, regardless of the advice that I give them. That doesn't mean that I'm looking to take advantage of you or make you buy it from me. But if you're gonna do it anyway, I'm wrong to turn you away. I think at that point. So I think that like I said, in the age of information, you owe it to yourself to arm yourself with the knowledge to to make a good financial decision when you walk into a dealership. But that goes for any financial purchase. But yeah, because specifically for the automotive sales part of things, I think
Yeah.
people should do their due diligence before they walk into a dealership.
All right, and if I could, I just want to say shout out to the viewership. We got a lot of viewers on Facebook right now. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Now, what I want to speak about specifically is Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey.
Mhm.
What separates Douglas Volkswagen from the rest of these dealerships out here? What separates you?
Well, it's I'm glad you asked that. It's look, I learned how to sell cars here, and the number one thing that ownership preached about from day one was don't worry about the money, don't worry about the price, take care of the customer. I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds corny, and hell, it might even sound salesmanish, but you know what? It's the truth. And 17 years later, I have at this point probably thousands of people who will echo that sentiment that when they walk through the doors, they come and see me and they know that they'll be taken care of. And everything else will fall into place. So
Yeah,
what
and
sets us
if
apart is it's customer service, dude. That's it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and once again, I just have to remind the people that this isn't just a random interview. This was a real life experience for me, right? And I can attest to everything this man is saying. When I went to the Douglas Volkswagen dealership, I felt comfortable. I didn't feel taken advantage of. It didn't feel sleazy. It felt genuine. There were options. There were truths that were laid out. I felt like it was fair. I even took the paperwork afterwards, ran it past my car guy at work, and he bet
Mm.
me before he saw it. He said, "I bet you can't get a lower APR than da 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 da." Come to find out, I did get a lower, and I'm not gonna put that out there because everyone's situation will be different as far as your APR, right? Everyone's situation will be different. Your credit different. I don't know if your credit is good. I don't know what you got going
You
on.
didn't tell me that, by the way. You didn't tell me you checked up on me.
Yeah, I did because my guy came out and he's like, "Yeah, I bet you couldn't get a lower APR than this. This is the average." Nah, I got lower than the average, and I'm not saying everyone else will, but Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey, took care of me. I will forever recommend this place. And yeah, once again, let me show the this is the beauty right here. And also, I will be seeing you guys soon for my 10,000 mile service. Right, I'll be there soon. But once
I'll
again,
be
this is
there.
yeah, this is the 2024 Volkswagen TAOS. This was one of my first. Honestly, this was my first vehicle purchase where I went to a legit dealership instead of just going to like a random lot. And I sat down.
Mhm.
ran my credit, did the paperwork, did the whole thing, full coverage, everything like that, and it was a great experience. I felt welcomed. It was great, and I would highly recommend this for for anyone else out there. So I guess my next question for you would be, over the course of the 17 years of you doing this, what are some of the accomplishments that you accomplished that mean the most to you? I seen an award on your desk when I was there, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, I mean, year after year, I think I'm in the top 5% of Volkswagen salespeople across the country. That's something that I try my best to maintain. Um, it's not every year, but I'm in that elite group, so I have to be doing something right. Um, there's always more work to be done, but that's one of the biggest ones. Is just obviously doing what I'm put in the dealership to do for the time being. Maybe my role will change at some point. Fingers crossed, but
Yeah,
that's for another interview, right? um, Once upon a time they had a award for customer service. For the it was dealership wide. It wasn't just for me, but we had won it like 8 years in a row. Um, and that was something that I took great pride in because, again, it speaks to it's proof that the things that we preach and the things that we talk about with customers isn't just for show. Like, we actually do it and we get recognition for it. So that was something that I really appreciated. But I think my biggest accomplishment is the smiles that I put on faces. I mean, your picture. I have tons of other pictures. Some of them I've put on social media. Some I haven't. Some of them are on the dealership web page. But I mean, like I said, thousands of people over the 17 years I've been at the store. Um, is a testament to the hard work that I put in and the grind. So, like I said, just very happy to be able to do what I do, and again, to put smiles on faces and to give people an experience that they can remember fondly, rather than something to complain about later on down the road when they think about it. It's always a good feeling. So yeah, man.
yeah, and to piggyback off what you said, it has to be a feel good thing to know that you're actually out there helping people. Despite whatever benefits come from it, you're actually helping people and their families acquire reliable transportation. So that is absolutely a feel good thing. I want to speak about Volkswagen a little bit now. So I was
Mhm.
fortunate enough to walk away with the TAOS. I love my vehicle; it's excellent. And now I see that the 2025s are being unveiled, and there's a lot of new things happening. Is there anything new happening at Volkswagen that you could kind of speak to? Anything new?
Well, you brought up the Taos. The redesign for the Taos is coming out. Um, I think in March or April. I did not know about it when I sold you your car, or else I would have told you and said, "Hey, look, this is coming down the pipe. You might want to wait," or I would at least give you a heads up and let you choose. Unfortunately, I just found out about it a couple weeks ago, so um, that's one thing. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. Everything's perfect, sir. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So the Taos is coming out with a redesign. The 2025 Tiguan is getting a complete redesign. That's also going to be out in March, April of 2025. Um, and then also, for anyone who's interested in electric cars,
Yeah.
Volkswagen's coming out with the ID Buzz, which is the old bus reimagined, fully electric, 6 or 7 seats. We should see the first editions in January, and then they'll have the other trim packages available later in the calendar year. So that's what you're going to see in the immediate future. Um, so yeah, right now that's it. I think eventually they're going to come out with an electric sedan also, but I don't have an ETA on that. So
Understood. So
yeah,
once again, you're obviously tenured in this. You've been doing this for a long time, as you've been doing it for 17 years. Can you speak
I
to some
am
of
and
the
I have.
some of the changes that you've seen in the car industry or in how Volkswagen operates? What are some of the changes that you can speak to?
Well, I think the shift towards electric is something that is something that Volkswagen kind of went into with a full head of steam. I don't know how that's going to play out over the next couple of years. Um, with the change in the administration for this country. Um, there's obviously a difference in philosophy there. I'll tread very lightly on that whole conversation, but I think everybody
Yes.
knows that. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's not going to be as much of a push for electric vehicles. So what's coming out is what's coming out, and then I'm interested to see if Volkswagen continues down that road, or if they pivot back to traditional combustion engines and
Mhm.
trying to find some new things to keep the customer base excited, and kind of anticipating what's coming up next. Um, so we've had a push for that. And I think the biggest change that I've seen over the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years, is there's a huge push for SUVs versus sedans.
Yep.
So we went from, we had the Jetta, the Passat, the Arteon. Um, that was just as soon as recently as 3 years ago, back in 2022, all three of those sedans existed. Now only one of them does. The Jetta is the only one that they still make.
Wow.
So, and then back then they made the Taos, the Tiguan, the Atlas Cross Sport, along with the ID4, which is also again electric. So you have five SUVs that Volkswagen sells. But if you look at the numbers, Volkswagen sells a lot more SUVs now than they do sedans. The interest in sedans is almost non-existent in comparison. So
Mm.
that's been, I think that's more market wide than just Volkswagen. But Volkswagen, I think, adjusted well, and I think they saw it kind of coming around the corner, so they made more selections for people to choose from, so that for someone who doesn't want a seven-seater Atlas, you have this house, which is very good on gas and easy to park and whatnot. But if you need something bigger, you have the
Yep.
Tiguan, you have the Cross Sport. So I think knowing that there's gonna be a push for SUVs, but also people were still gonna want to have choice. I think they did a real good job of giving people options while not limiting themselves. So yeah.
That was very well worded, and you touched on the Atlas. And man, now
Hmm.
everywhere I go, I spot the Atlas. There's something
Hmm.
about the lights on that vehicle. I just love it. It's huge. It's big, and I'll pull up a picture of the Atlas here momentarily. Let me see.
Hmm.
At-
Yeah, that's one of the most popular cars we sell. Like I said.
See, I'm gonna pull it up here on the official Volkswagen website. Bear with me, production. This is the Atlas. So yes, the 2025 Atlas Cross Sport will be coming out with a starting MSRP of 37 racks. And I'll try to look for a couple more pictures here. Give me 1 second to pull this up. Present, share screen. There we go. All right, yeah, this is the Atlas. Yeah, yeah, definitely one of my favorite SUVs, and what I like a lot about it is just the lights on the back of it. The light is crazy, and when it's behind you, it's very distinct. You know when the Atlas is behind you. You can see it a mile away. It's something about the light, and that white strip lights up on certain
Hmm.
versions of it. I'm not sure which version of it lights up or if it's all of them, but man, this is a beast right here, a beast of an SUV, and I just love it.
Nah, it's a great car. They did a great job with it. The redesign really pops, and we've sold a lot of them this year just based off the way it looks. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of families that were already driving Atlases, and most of them came back for the redesign. So VW did a
Mm.
real good job with it's something that catches eyes when it's on the road. That's really important. So yeah, man. Salute to the Atlas. It's great,
Yeah, and
great 6 or 7 seater if you're looking for a three-row SUV. It's the Does everything you need it to do. So
yes, and here is a picture displaying the lighting that you will
exactly
see.
what you're talking about.
Yes, yes, it is distinct. I love it. Every time I see one, I always point it out to somebody. I'm like, "Oh, look, it's one of those atlases. Look." So, yeah. So, all right, is that a thing that you see often? When you see people that come in, they buy a certain model, and then a few years later, they'll come in and Maybe they'll just buy the newest model of said vehicle. Is that something you see happen frequently?
Sometimes, I mean, I wouldn't say frequently. No, I mean, it really comes back to need. Um, when you have a big family, sure, that goes without saying because the family's not getting any smaller. So you'll see a lot of people that'll come back and get Atlases over and over again. Um, but going the other way, someone, let's say, coming out of a Taos, they might have a baby and say, all right, I need something bigger. So they might go into a Tiguan, or they might already have a couple kids and get more, and they'll go from a Tiguan to an Atlas. So it's situational, but I think a lot of times, some people want to try something different, but some people are creatures of habit, and it really does come down to the customer and what they need. So yeah.
Understood. And once again, let me pull up the pictures again. For anyone just tuning in, this is a picture of me and Isaac at the Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey. One of the happiest days of my life right here. I did it. I saved up. I was talking to him. I said, look, I got a couple racks saved up. I got my credit right. I need to get a whip. I went there. I sat there. The process did not take long. I walked around. We seen this. I knew that this is what I like. They had it in all black. Had the black on black with the black rims. I didn't need to do much more but sign the paperwork. It was a fast process. I was comfortable. Yeah, I had a great experience here. Now, anyone that wants to get in contact with you, all right, I'm going to make a banner right here and put some contact information to fly across the bottom of the screen. How can someone get in contact with you if they want to, consult or possibly come in?
Well, if you don't already not already friends with me on Facebook, you can Facebook message me anytime. I'm always available there. Um, I have an Instagram. It's my full name, Isaac R. Bunton. So you could tag me there or follow me there, and we could communicate that way. Um, if you're interested in coming to see me about a vehicle, you can reach me right at the dealership, or I could just give everybody my phone number right on here. I'm not shy about that. So if you're in the market for a vehicle, if you have questions about how to buy a car or what you need to do to buy a car, um, I'm available all the time. My phone number is 732-649-9603. Let me know who you are before you start just randomly like bombing me with messages. But say, hey, look, I got your number from the show. My question is this. And I'll do whatever I can to assist. That's two A's, not two S's. ISAAC on
Oh,
my
pardon me.
Instagram.
Thank you for catching
Come
that.
on,
Thank you
come,
for catching
come
that.
on,
Finger
baby.
slip, finger slip, finger slip. There we go.
That's all right. That's all right. It's all right. It's a common mistake. But yeah, man. Anybody who's in the market, or if you just have questions, or I mean, hopefully, if you're in the market, I'm like I said, I'm here to help. That's my job, is to help, and hopefully, my help will get you to where you can get what you need, and hopefully, you can get it from me. So um, that's really it, man. Reach out, call me, text me, and whatever I can do to assist you, I'll be happy to do so.
Yes, yes. And once again, I just want to show this off one more time. One picture of me. I gotta remind the people that this is something I did. This
Hmm.
isn't just a random hoop. This isn't just random nonsense. This isn't shenanigans. This was a real
Nah,
life
this ain't.
experience for me.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not paid promo, folks.
Nah,
Nah,
this is
nothing
not
like that.
exactly. Yeah,
Not
this is
paid
not.
promo. Yeah, we really did that. We really did that. So
Yeah, man. And I guess before we close out, as we approach the 30-minute mark, which is perfect because people have families. Is there any one last thing you would like to just tell the people? I like to give you the floor and just anything you just want to say to the people before we close out, brother.
um, other than other than kind of some of the things we touched on earlier, if you're in the market and you're not sure of you're not sure of anything, like whatever it is that makes you hesitant about taking a step to either go to the dealership or to talk to somebody, arm yourself with the knowledge. There's so much information out there about how to buy a car and where to go and who to talk to, and the biggest thing is to know what knowing what you want, knowing how much what you want should cost, and have a game plan before you go into the dealership. If you never speak to me about buying a car, that is the advice I would give, would be to know what it is that you want, know what it's supposed to cost, and try to stick to that as best as possible, and have a understanding of your credit and what your credit can afford you. That is the one of the biggest misconceptions out there, is that you know you can go out there and buy something and then you find out it's twice as much, and it's only because your credit is limiting you to what a bank is willing to lend. So arm yourself with that information, and make a sound business, a sound financial decision, and take care of yourself out there. That's it.
There you have it. Well worded. Yeah, I really love how you articulate yourself, man. You're very professional. Like I said, when I got my paper right, when I built my credit up, I knew who I was going to see, man. And I
Right.
remember the day I had got to the number that I wanted to get to, man. I flew over there. I went down and I was able to walk away with this beautiful 2024 Volkswagen TAOS. I love it. I'm 2024 up. It's still 2024. So I got to talk my stuff because I worked hard for it. It took
That's
me
right.
2 years to build my credit up. I stacked my chips up. I went and I got with Isaac Bunton, and now I'm riding clean. And you could be doing the same. And once again, if you need to consult, if you want to talk, if you just need any advisory, you can hit him up on Instagram at Isaac R. Bunton. He's located at the Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey. Phone number 732-649-9603. Good brother, thank you for coming up here. We've been trying to put this together for a while. I'm glad we was able to come
It's
together
been
and
a
get.
minute, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. It's been a minute, though. We got together, man. I'm glad we was able to get it together. I appreciate you having me on, and for everybody who was watching, peace and love to you. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we can help each other out.
yeah, and with that being said, I'm gonna close out. Thank you for coming up, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, soundcloud.com/chaotic flame, youtube.com/ at nothing left to do but win. Once again, this was a real life experience for me. I'm going to keep promoting Isaac. I'm gonna keep promoting the Volkswagen. The Douglas Volkswagen in Summit, New Jersey was a great experience. I encourage you all to reach out. If you got a couple dollars and if your credit is decent, reach out. Even if it isn't, just reach out, consult, and converse with someone who has your best interests at hand. That's what I would advise you to do. Do your own due diligence, do the knowledge, as Lupe would say, do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And converse with someone who has your best interests at hand. I'm going to close out right here with 1013 in Plainfield, produced by yours truly, Chaotic Flame. And I'll catch y'all next time. Let me run it.